Has Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, simply vanished? For weeks, headlines have painted a picture of a royal in hiding, a ghost in the machine she once helped modernize. Following the cataclysmic fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal and her ex-husband Prince Andrew's fall from grace, the narrative is that Fergie has disappeared. It's a compelling story. Forced out of Royal Lodge, her home of 22 years, the once famous Duchess is supposedly sofa surfing her way across the globe. But the truth is a little more complicated. While the pressure on her is immense, the idea that she's in a self-imposed exile doesn't quite line up with the facts. She attended Easter Sunday at Windsor Castle in 2025 and was seen at Wimbledon with Princess Beatrice later that year. So what's really going on? How did the People's Duchess find herself in the middle of this perfect storm? We'll investigate the very real reasons for her lower profile, correct the record on her supposed disappearance, and uncover the truth behind the headlines. This isn't just a story of a fall from grace. It's a story of survival. To understand where she is today, you have to go back to the beginning, to a time when Sarah Ferguson was the monarchy's greatest asset. When she burst onto the scene in the mid-80s, her fun-loving, down-to-earth personality was a welcome change from the stiff upper lip of the House of Windsor. The public and the press were instantly hooked. Her 1986 wedding to Prince Andrew was a fairy tale event that cemented her place in the nation's heart. She was Fergie, the relatable royal who wasn't afraid to laugh a little too loudly or make a mistake. Alongside Princess Diana, she was part of a modernizing force, and the glamorous Windsor wives seemed poised to reshape the monarchy. But behind the fairy tale, trouble was brewing almost right away. The very things that made her popular, her openness, her spontaneity, also made her an easy target. The press that built her up seemed to delight in picking her apart. Headlines scrutinized her weight, her clothes, and her spending. Nicknamed the Duchess of Pork, she was hit with a level of body shaming that was relentless and cruel. And while she was raising two princesses, Beatrice and Eugenie, and throwing herself into charity work, life inside the palace walls was reportedly lonely. Prince Andrew's naval career meant he was away for long stretches, leaving Fergie to navigate the royal maze pretty much on her own. This isolation was made worse by a problem that would follow her for years: money. Despite marrying into one of the world's richest families, Sarah wasn't personally wealthy. She had a modest allowance, but was expected to live a life of immense luxury. She developed a taste for high fashion and lavish travel, but her income just couldn't keep up. Rumors of debt started to swirl, a theme that would come to define her entire career. The early cracks were showing. The breath of fresh air was becoming a gathering storm. 1992 was the year the fairy tale shattered into a million pieces, live on the front pages of the world's tabloids. While staying in a villa in the south of France, the still-married Duchess was photographed topless, having her toes kissed by her American financial advisor, John Bryan. The pictures were a global sensation and a profound humiliation for the royal family. The Queen was reportedly furious. Within months, her separation from Prince Andrew was announced. This scandal did more than just end her marriage. It locked in a public image of Fergie as reckless and embarrassing. When she officially divorced in 1996, she was stripped of her Royal Highness title. While she kept the title Sarah, Duchess of York, it was now a courtesy, not a constitutional position. This became the Duchess's pattern: a huge scandal, a public shaming, and an even more desperate scramble for cash. Freed from the monarchy's rules, but also its protection, Sarah launched a new career as a celebrity. She became a spokesperson for Weight Watchers, wrote children's books, and hosted TV shows, finding a second chance in America. But her financial problems were a constant shadow, with reports of debts piling into the millions. This desperation led to the second defining scandal of her life. In 2010, she was secretly filmed by an undercover journalist offering access to Prince Andrew, who was then a UK trade envoy, in exchange for £500,000. On camera, she was heard saying, £500,000 when you can, to me, open doors. The fallout was catastrophic. She was a global laughingstock, the Duchess of Debt. She issued a groveling apology on Oprah, admitting she'd been drinking and was in the gutter. But the damage was done. Her reputation for bad judgment was sealed. Little did she know, a past association was about to surface that would make all of this look like child's play. If the earlier scandals were cracks in her public standing, her connection to Jeffrey Epstein was the earthquake that brought the whole structure down. The first tremor hit in 2011, when it was revealed Epstein had given the Duchess £15,000 to help pay off debts, reportedly arranged by Prince Andrew. Ferguson admitted it was a gigantic error of judgment, but at the time, the world didn't yet know the full horror of Epstein's crimes. That changed dramatically. As the extent of Epstein's abuse became clear and Prince Andrew's own deep involvement was exposed, any link to that name became toxic. The prince's disastrous 2019 BBC Newsnight interview ended his public life and started a chain reaction that would eventually consume Fergie, too. As Andrew was banished from public life, the scrutiny on his ex-wife grew. While dramatic headlines about new 2026 Epstein files and charities dropping her swirled, the verifiable facts are damaging enough. The association cast a long shadow over the charitable work she had rebuilt so carefully. Yet, even in this period, she continued to work, becoming a patron for Prevent Breast Cancer in 2024. On top of this professional crisis, she was facing a terrifying personal one. Within a year, the Duchess was diagnosed with 2 different types of cancer. First breast cancer, then malignant melanoma. She underwent surgeries and treatment. A grueling ordeal. Is she secretly moving between Swiss clinics, Irish spas, and Priscilla Presley's guest house? The evidence for this nomadic lifestyle is thin to non-existent. Instead, reports suggest she is doing something far more practical, looking for a new home near Windsor. The priority, it seems, is not to flee the country but to remain close to her daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, who form her core support system. The idea that she has been difficult to live with or that her family is resisting taking her in remains unverified speculation. The more likely reality is that of a woman trying to find her footing after losing her home, battling health issues, and dealing with the constant aftershocks of her ex-husband's disgrace. She isn't a duchess in exile, living out of a suitcase. She's a mother and grandmother trying to build a new life in the only place she really calls home. The story of Sarah Ferguson's so-called disappearance is really a story of radical reinvention, forced by scandal, illness, and the loss of her home. Her fall wasn't a single event, but a slow burn over decades, marked by terrible judgment calls, but also by incredible resilience. The toe-sucking photos and the cash-for-access sting revealed a woman constantly on the edge. But it was her indirect connection to the world of Jeffrey Epstein and the downfall of Prince Andrew that proved to be the point of no return. This, combined with her own serious health battles, has left her not as a global wanderer, but as a woman fighting to redefine her life. The breath of fresh air hasn't vanished. She's weathering the storm. Her title, Duchess of York, once a powerful calling card, is now a reminder of a life that's been turned completely upside down. The mystery isn't really where is she? The bigger question is, what comes next? Is this a quiet retreat before another trademark Fergie comeback? Or is this the final chapter of her public life? What do you think is next for Sarah Ferguson? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this investigation insightful, please give this video a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter. Thank you for watching.